Some 400 miles from Kabul in the western Afghan city of Herat, the local hospital's burn unit is struggling to help the dying. The smell of charred human flesh is unbearable. The screams of pain unending. Most here don't live to see another day.
They burn themselves because they see no other option.
Setting oneself on fire is the preferred method of suicide for many Afghan women, especially in Herat.
Sure, life has gotten a little better since the days of the Taliban. But the conditions for women haven't changed. They still suffer, and in some cases, it's getting worse for them.
The majority of the victims are girls and women who are forced into marriages. 60% of Afghan girls are married before the legal age of 16, and between 70 and 80% must endure forced marriages, often the marriages to an older man who has another wife and children. So setting themselves on fire has become a form of protest.
Most of these women are beaten and abused. If they run away, they are eventually caught and sent back to their families, and no one seems to care what happens to them after that.
Aid workers and human rights groups say that social, cultural, as well as religious restrictions often prevent Afghan women from getting the help they so desperately need. 21-year-old Fazela is one of the lucky ones who survived her suicide attempt.
I wanted to die, but God decided it was not my time. So now I have to live with my scars.
5 years ago, Fazela was engaged to marry her first cousin at the family's bidding. She refused and doused herself with fuel and set herself afire.
I wake up every day and see myself in the mirror and wish things were different.
She and other survivors are trying to make a difference. They occasionally travel around the country holding seminars and workshops on women's rights, but it's not easy. Afghan women who defy traditional gender roles and speak out against abuse are routinely threatened or killed.
One of the biggest challenges is to change the way men view us in this country. This is still a very patriarchal society.
Afghanistan's constitution gives equal rights to men and women, but despite an increase in the number of girls in school, most Afghan women, especially in rural areas, still lack full rights to work and education. Hundreds of schools and students have been attacked by Islamic militants who oppose advancements for women's rights. More than 6 years after the fall of the Taliban regime, the radical extremist group is making a strong comeback. And as the Taliban strengthen their hold on parts of the country, the future for women in much of Afghanistan looks bleaker. George Thomas, CBN News, Kabul.